Have you ever wondered that a planet which is now covered in dust and ice once had oceans, once had rivers flowing? It too was once a home to lush blue skies and flowing water. Yes, Mars, which we now call the Red Planet, has always been an unsolved mystery for scientists and astronomers. But now, National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Curiosity rover has made a discovery that could completely change the history of this planet. This discovery is so significant that it is being called a missing puzzle piece in the history of Mars. What exactly is this discovery and how can it reveal the mysterious past of Mars? Let's embark on a journey to one of the most fascinating planets in our solar system, where today we'll talk about the exciting discovery recently made by National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Curiosity rover. On the surface of Mars, iron-rich carbonate materials, especially siderite, have been found. This discovery could be a major step in understanding the ancient climate of Mars and its potential habitability. In this video, we will learn what these carbonate minerals actually are, how Curiosity discovered them, and how this discovery strengthens the possibility of water and life in Mars' past. Along with that, we will also talk about Mars' carbon cycle and the mystery of its lost atmosphere. So get ready for a story that will take us deep into the ancient world of Mars. Mars, also known as the Red Planet, has always been a center of attraction for humanity. Its red soil, massive volcanoes like Olympus Mons, and valleys like Valles Marineris truly make it a mysterious planet. But the mystery of Mars is not just about its features. In fact, scientists believe that about 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, the environment of Mars was completely different. Back then, there were rivers, lakes, and perhaps even oceans of liquid water here. Mars's atmosphere was filled with carbon dioxide, which kept the planet warm through the greenhouse effect. But as time passed, something very mysterious happened to Mars, something very catastrophic, because of which Mars lost most of its atmosphere and became a cold, dry, and barren planet. Is it really true to imagine that there was once life on Mars? And if there was, then where is the evidence for it? The recent discoveries of the Curiosity rover are a big step in trying to answer this question. Curiosity rover is National Aeronautics and Space Administration's advanced robotic explorer, which landed in Mars Gale Crater in August 2012. Gale Crater was chosen for this mission because it is considered an ancient lake bed where water once existed. Curiosity's mission is to study the soil, rocks, and atmosphere of Mars, so that it can be determined whether the right conditions for microbial life ever existed there. This rover is a mobile laboratory equipped with 17 cameras, a laser, a drill, and sophisticated instruments like ChemIn, which stands for chemistry and mineralogy. Curiosity not only takes pictures of the surface of Mars, but it can also drill into soil and rocks to analyze their chemical and mineral composition. Recently, the Curiosity rover discovered large deposits of iron-rich carbonate minerals, especially siderite, on the slopes of Mount Sharp in Gale Crater. Siderite is an iron carbonate mineral that forms through the chemical reaction of carbon dioxide, water, and rocks. This discovery is important because carbonate minerals are a significant marker of the ancient environmental conditions that once existed here. Scientists have previously observed carbonates on Mars as well through rovers, orbiters, and Martian meteorites, but Curiosity's discovery provides new and exclusive details. Curiosity drilled into the sulfate-rich layers of Mount Sharp and collected samples from a depth of 3.1 and 9/16 inches. These samples were studied by the ChemIn instrument using X-ray diffraction, which found that the rocks contain 5 to 10% siderite. This was truly a surprising discovery because orbital satellites had never detected such a large amount of carbonates on the surface of Mars before. Scientists believe that the presence of magnesium sulfate had hidden these carbonates, which is why we were never able to find them before. This discovery is important for several reasons. The presence of siderite is evidence that Mars's ancient atmosphere was filled with carbon dioxide, which, through the greenhouse effect, kept the planet warm enough for liquid water to exist on the surface. And this discovery confirms our habitability models, which say that Mars was once habitable. The lead researcher, Associate Professor Ban Tutolo from the University of Calgary, says that we know Mars was habitable and that the habitability models are correct. The discovery of carbonates indicates that there was an active carbon cycle on Mars, which could be quite similar to Earth's carbon cycle. On Earth, the carbon cycle circulates carbon between our atmosphere, oceans, and rocks, which is essential for life. The presence of siderite and iron oxyhydroxide on Mars suggests that carbon was circulating between Mars's atmosphere and rocks. But somewhere, Mars's carbon cycle was imbalanced. Due to the lack of plate tectonics like Earth, Mars locked more carbon dioxide in its rocks from its atmosphere, and the effect of this was that carbon dioxide too rapidly decreased from Mars' atmosphere. As a result, the atmosphere became thinner and the greenhouse effect also reduced. Due to the decrease in greenhouse gases, it started cooling down very quickly, and in this way, the entire nature of a once lush planet completely changed. Apart from this, data from Curiosity and orbital maps showed that carbonate layers on the surface of Mars had trapped a huge amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. If carbonates are also present in Mars' other sulfate-rich layers, then this could explain a large part of the planet's lost atmosphere. Curiosity made this discovery through its advanced drilling and analysis capabilities. The rover's drill system digs into the Martian surface to collect samples, which are then placed into the Chi-Min instrument. Chi-Min studies the mineral compositions of rocks and soil using X-ray diffraction. Easily soluble salts and iron oxyhydroxides were also found along with siderite in the rocks of Mount Sharp, which indicate ancient water activity. These minerals were probably formed in dry conditions where evaporation occurred after chemical reactions between water and rocks. This process tells the story of Mars's ancient atmosphere, when the planet was warm and full of water. The discovery of siderite further strengthens the possibility of life on Mars, but it is still a kind of puzzle. Three things are necessary for life: liquid water, an energy source, and chemical building blocks. Curiosity has already found evidence of liquid water in Gale Crater, like sedimentary rocks and wave ripples, which indicate ancient lakes. Sunlight or volcanic activity can be used as an energy source. Now, carbonates and previously discovered organic molecules like alkanes prove the presence of chemical building blocks. But the high radiation on the surface of Mars is not suitable for life. Scientists think that maybe there could be microbial life below the surface where the radiation is lower. The presence of siderite and clay-rich sediments indicates that organic compounds and fossils can remain preserved on Mars for a long time. So if there was ever life on Mars, we can definitely find evidence of it in these sediments. This discovery is important not just for Mars, but also for our own Earth. Ben Totolo says that he is working on ways to convert carbon dioxide to fight climate change on Earth. Nature may have done the same thing on Mars, providing clues from Earth's carbon cycle. There is evidence to support this. It is possible that nature has already done this on Mars. This discovery by Curiosity gives a new direction to the study of Mars. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Perseverance rover, which landed in Jezero Crater in 2021, is now collecting samples, which will be brought back to Earth in the future through the Mars Sample Return mission. If these samples contain fossilized microbes or complex organic compounds, it could be definitive evidence of life on Mars. The European Space Agency's ExoMars rover and Mars Tianwen-1 mission are are searching for life on Mars. The Mars Sample Return mission, which will launch in the 2030s, will bring Martian soil back to Earth. Then scientists will study these samples in advanced laboratories in depth, and maybe then we will get some answers about life on Mars. The explorations being conducted on Mars are not just important for scientists, but for all of humanity as well. If we find evidence of life on Mars, it will prove that life is not limited to just Earth. And perhaps we might even be surprised to find that life on our Earth actually came from Mars. This discovery will make our search for life in the universe even easier. This will help us understand exactly where and what we need to look for if we want to search for life on any planet. At the same time, evidence of habitability on Mars could also pave the way for Mars colonization in the future. National Aeronautics and Space Administration and SPACEX are already planning to send humans to Mars. If Mars was ever habitable, then maybe we can make it habitable again. This discovery by the Curiosity rover has given us a chance to understand its past more closely. By understanding its past, we can shape its future, and that's why this discovery can give a new direction to all of humanity. But this is just the beginning. Curiosity and other rovers are uncovering deeper secrets on the surface of Mars, and in the future, we may find even more astonishing discoveries. Whether aliens exist or not has been a topic of debate not just today, but for many years. Many people believe that just as humans live on Earth, there are some planets in the vast universe where aliens, that is, extraterrestrials, also live. Some claim that just as humans go to other planets, humans go in search of aliens, and in the same way, these aliens also come to Earth and keep gathering information about humans. Just as we are eager to know and understand them, in the same way, they also want to understand us. But how much truth there is in these things has not been revealed till today. But it's not at all true that we can't solve this mystery. In fact, people are working day and night to uncover this enigma. Now, whether it's observing the universe through these space telescopes or exploring the barren lands of Mars, our spacecraft are doing it all. They are holding their ground on all fronts and keeping a close watch on these unknown mysteries every moment. In such situations, surprising news often comes from Mars, where there are frequent claims of discovering evidence of alien life on the planet. Recently, there have been reports about what exists on Mars, whether it's a strangely shaped boulder being linked to a secret door or mounds of soil resembling a running horse. Mars has always been in the headlines because of these strange mysteries, but this time the news coming from Mars is much more real than all these claims, because this time the claim has been made by National Aeronautics and Space Administration itself. Actually, this news is about the Curiosity rover standing a little distance away from an alien on Mars. Recently, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has claimed that they are very close to finding alien life on Mars. They have almost found evidence of the existence of aliens on the Martian surface. So is this really a fact or just a myth? Well, stay tuned to find out. In today's episode of Documentary Library, this is National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Curiosity rover, which entered the Martian atmosphere on August 5, 2012. After performing a complicated landing sequence and maneuvers, this rover landed at the base of a mountain present in Gale Crater. After touching down on the surface of Mars late at night, it went into rest mode. Then, the next day when the sun rose, it also began its work. Actually, this rover was specially designed to study the ancient lakes present on Mars. Specifically, it was designed to find evidence of water and carbon in the Gale Crater. It wouldn't be wrong to say that out of all the missions sent to Mars by National Aeronautics and Space Administration, this has proven to be the most successful and revolutionary. National Aeronautics and Space Administration as Mars Science Laboratory establishment owes a great deal to it. In fact, you could say that this rover is a complete Martian laboratory in itself. It is capable of everything from collecting samples to analyzing them and then delivering the scientific results results to us. Since landing here in 2012, Curiosity has sent us a lot of valuable and eye-opening information related to Mars. Based on the data received from it, we have made assumptions about the conditions and geological structure of Mars. Recently, this rover has made a discovery on Mars that could introduce us to evidence of life that may have existed there. In fact, almost all the spacecraft that humans have sent to Mars so far have had the objective of searching for evidence of life there. Whether it was the Viking landers sent to the surface of Mars in the 1970s or the recently sent Perseverance rover, every robotic instrument or probe sent there always has the necessary instruments to detect life. The latest news coming from Mars regarding Curiosity is about the organic compounds found there. Well, to better understand this achievement of Curiosity, you first need to understand the way life is searched for on a celestial body or planet. Actually, to search for life on an unknown world or an unknown planet, humans use three things as their reference. The first of these is water. Yes, we all know that life is almost impossible without water. All the creatures we have known about so far are related to water in some form or another. Now, whether they use this water for drinking or to continue their life cycle in one way or another, water is essential for life. If we talk about the second most important thing for the existence of life, recently, the evidence of life that we have found on Mars is related to this third aspect, that is, organic compounds. Actually, the Curiosity rover has detected traces of organic carbon in the Gale crater. Organic carbon is the form in which carbon atoms are covalently bonded with other atoms, and such compounds are very important for supporting life. In fact, these compounds are considered complementary for the existence of life. All cellular organisms are made up of these compounds. Our own human body also contains such hydrocarbons, and even after the end of this body, different types of hydrocarbons are produced from the leftovers. The organic carbon compounds found in Mars's Gale crater indicate two different possibilities for life. The first is that it is still buried there. Life exists there in a hidden form which is producing these organic compounds. The second possibility is related to life that has already ended there. Scientists who support this view believe that the discovery of these carbon compounds indicates the presence of fossils on Mars. But to put it simply, the petrol we use is also a type of hydrocarbon. Its formulation is a mixture of carbon compounds with different structures and hydrogen. Similarly, the hydrocarbons found on Mars could also be leftovers from extinct Martian life, but just one discovery doesn't confirm the existence of alien life on Mars. To fully prove this, we will need some more evidence along with it. Senior biologists and scientists comment on this topic, saying that organic compounds can also be produced by non-living things or bodies. That's why it's a bit difficult to say that the hydrocarbons found on Mars only indicate the presence of life. There could be some reasons for their presence that have nothing to do with life. For example, volcanic eruptions and meteorite impacts could also make the existence of such organic compounds possible. However, even on this matter, scientists at National Aeronautics and Space Administration are divided into two different groups. Some scientists directly believe that indeed at this time conditions that can support life do not exist on Mars, but they definitely existed at one time, and maybe in the future we will find some way or another by which life can be born there once again, and life can breathe there once more, and this entire planet will become inhabited just like before. Some are hopeless though, but there is also a group of practical scientists who completely deny both the possibility of ancient Martian life and the current life support situation. This group of researchers clearly believes that life on Mars was never possible, nor will it ever be possible. But as they say, the world runs on hope. So if we have anything in our hands, it's only our hope to rely on here, to keep this search going, and finally before leaving. If we break the mystery of alien rule on Mars as well, then it will also become clear that just as we imagine aliens on Mars, there is nothing like that present there, and maybe not even in the past. At least such strange living beings probably don't live there. This is also National Aeronautics and Space Administration's official stance. Even if life exists there, it would be very different and much smaller than what we think and perceive. Maybe the life developing there is in its very initial phase and it has just started to flourish there. And who knows, one day it might evolve to become extremely complex, just like us humans, but even more advanced and intelligent. Look closely at this mysterious rock. It's not just an ordinary stone, but a puzzle on Mars that could change human history forever. On the surface of this stone lying on the bed of a dried up river, a strange pattern of black spots and small circular marks has been found, as if it is hiding some dark mystery from ancient times. Such patterns on Earth are often associated with microorganisms, bacteria, or ancient fossils. These marks are often formed when microorganisms create chemical reactions in the mud, which over time get preserved in stone. But this rock is not from Earth, it's actually on Mars. A mysterious place where the dusty surface has been hiding unsolved mysteries for centuries. Finding such structures on the surface of Mars is an extraordinary discovery for scientists, because Mars has always been seen by our human civilization as connected to life. Billions of years ago, this planet used to have water and life together, but today Mars is lifeless, barren, and deserted. Can this rock give us the answer to the biggest question of the universe? Are we alone in this vast universe? We found this rock from the Jezero crater on Mars, where National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Perseverance rover is tirelessly searching for signs of ancient life on this barren planet. Recently, Perseverance rover discovered this rock, and in a press conference, National Aeronautics and Space Administration claimed that this could be the strongest evidence of alien life on Mars so far. The presence of organic molecules and some very special minerals like vivianite and greigite in this rock has surprised scientists. National Aeronautics and Space Administration chose the Jezero crater for this mission because there used to be a huge lake here. Traces of flowing rivers have also been found here, and the chemicals necessary for life were also present at this place. Scientists estimate that 3.5 billion years ago, Mars' atmosphere was just like Earth's, with water, warmth, and the possibility of life. Perseverance's mission is to explore this ancient history so that we can find out whether there was ever life on Mars. The discovery of this rock has given scientists a new wave of enthusiasm, because this is the first time that we found all three ingredients for life: liquid water, organic molecules, and an energy source in a single sample. This discovery could prove to be a historic turning point for all of humanity. Have we really found the first solid evidence of life in this universe? This question is making not only scientists but every person think deeply. Who looks at the star-filled sky at night and wonders if we are alone in this infinite universe? Actually, our story begins at Jezero crater, which was once part of a huge lake filled with water. Rivers used to flow here, and all the elements necessary for life were also present. This crater is about 45 kilometers wide and has delta-like structures which are formed at the mouths of rivers. On Earth, such places are known for fossils, like the fossil areas of the Narmada Valley in India. Today, there is nothing here except loneliness, a dry and barren planet where clouds of dust blow in the air. But National Aeronautics and Space Administration dared to land a rover here, and today, Perseverance rover is searching for Martian ancient life fossils in this crater, which might have been thriving here millions of years ago. Last year, on June 9, 2024, during its routine mission, a very strange incident occurred. The rover suddenly saw a very strange rock on the path leading into that lake, which made the scientists' hearts race. When they went closer to this rock, they saw small black spots and large circular marks on it. At that moment, everyone had the same question in their minds. Is this what we've been searching for on Mars? Have we really found life on Mars? National Aeronautics and Space Administration's team immediately named these marks leopard spots and poppy seeds based on their mysterious patterns. These marks resembled the fossils of microbes found on Earth so closely that the scientists were now excited. But the scientists still had to prove whether what they found on Mars was really evidence of life on Mars or not. These marks had filled the scientists with a new energy. On Earth, such marks are often part of fossils, which indicate that life once thrived in the mud here. If this had happened on Earth, we would definitely say that this is a result of biology. But what should we call these on Mars? This mystery is still unsolved and is keeping scientists up at night. Actually, this is the first time something like this has happened on Mars. Scientists immediately put Perseverance rover's toolkit to work. Planetary instrument for X-ray lithochemistry detected elements like iron, phosphorus, and sulfur present in the samples. Meanwhile, scanning habitable environments with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemicals used lasers to examine minerals and organic molecules. When the results of the tests conducted on this rock came out, everyone was surprised to see them. Organic molecules, that is, carbon-based compounds, were found in the rock right where the strange spots were. The discovery didn't stop there. Those circular marks contained iron, phosphorus, sulfur, and two special minerals, wavellite and greigite. On Earth, these minerals are often associated with decaying and dead animals and plants. This is a big clue that suggests we might have found traces of ancient life on this rock. If we look at Mars, the story of the search for life goes back decades. In 1976, National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Viking landers landed on Mars to search for life. When experiments were conducted, suddenly gas started coming out of the soil as if microbes were present in it. The scientists were excited. They thought that life had finally been found on Mars. But later, it was found that this was because of reactive chemicals, not evidence of life. In the 2000s, the Spirit and Opportunity rovers confirmed that there were once vast oceans and rivers on Mars. The Curiosity rover revealed that 3 billion years ago, conditions on Mars were habitable for life. And at exactly the same time, life was just beginning on our Earth as well. This convinced scientists that if there really was ever life on Mars, then ancient fossils of life could be hidden in the lake beds and rivers here. To turn this belief into evidence, Perseverance is collecting samples from various areas of Mars with its robotic arm. Now, with these samples, the Perseverance rover was ready to make the greatest discovery in human history. Over the past year, scientists on Earth have examined the data received from the Perseverance rover in great detail. They studied the structure of the samples and also considered the reasons behind those strange spots. Just a few days ago, they finally made their announcement. National Aeronautics and Space Administration also presented it to scientists around the world so that they could pressure test it and confirm whether the conclusion they were reaching was correct. After about a year of review, National Aeronautics and Space Administration came forward and said that they couldn't find any other explanation for it. So this could be the clearest sign of ancient life on Mars so far. To put it simply, this discovery is unimaginable. 3 main elements of life have been found in a single rock: liquid water, organic molecules, and an energy source. This is the first time that all 3 have been found together in a single sample. It's just like arriving at a campsite and finding a campfire, a ring, rocks, and leftover food there. This is definite proof that someone was there, even if you can't see them right now. After seeing these kinds of results, scientists also considered alternative hypotheses, and what came out surprised everyone. The vivianite and greigite found in this mysterious Martian rock indicate that a redox reaction had taken place here, and microbial life can definitely do this, but only microbial life can do this. There are several possibilities regarding this. The first possibility was high-temperature geology. If the mud is heated for a long time, such traces could also be formed, but there is no evidence that such an environment ever existed on Mars. Besides, Vivianite forms at low temperatures and it gets destroyed in heat, which completely rules out the possibility that there were ever hot temperatures here. The second possibility was acidic water reactions. If highly acidic water had passed through this rock for a long time, it would have been possible, but there was no evidence for this in that region of Mars. In fact, olivine was also found in the rock, which gets destroyed in acid, so that possibility is also ruled out. The third possibility was that organic molecules, with the help of a catalyst, carried out this reaction on their own. But at the low temperatures of Mars, this possibility is also quite weak. After carefully considering all the options, ancient microbial life seems to be the most likely answer. But even after all this, and even though all the scientists are so confident, why don't they clearly say that this is life? As the famous scientist Carl Sagan said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and there can be no bigger claim than the discovery of alien life. And to bring evidence for this, we will have to go to Mars and bring this sample back so that we can test it in Earth's most sophisticated labs. National Aeronautics and Space Administration will have to meet its own standards for this discovery. Only then will scientists be able to say that we have truly found life on Mars. For this, National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Confidence of Life Detection Scale measures the reliability of any discovery. It starts at level 1. Where we receive a signal related to life. And to prove that life, we have to go up to level 7 on the scale, where different kinds of observations confirm the same result. This discovery might actually happen somewhere in the middle of the scale. For now, National Aeronautics and Space Administration hasn't publicly disclosed its level, but one thing is certain. To reach level 7, we'll have to bring those samples from Mars back to Earth. The rovers on Mars can't do much with their limited toolkit. They've done as much as they could. But by bringing these samples back to Earth, we can examine them in depth in our labs. And then we can say for sure whether there is life here or not. For this, the Mars sample return mission is necessary. The Perseverance rover has been collecting samples on Mars for the past few years and has been sealing and storing them. When the time comes, these will be dropped on the surface of Mars itself. Now, to bring those samples back, we will need 3 missions. The first mission will collect the drop samples and take them to the launcher. The second mission will be to take those samples from the surface of Mars to its orbit. The third and final mission will bring those samples back to Earth. This is a complex and expensive task, which National Aeronautics and Space Administration has even called the world's most expensive delivery service. That's right, when just delivering a few samples will cost billions of dollars, it's not wrong to say that. But even so, the Mars sample return mission is a priority for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. If we are able to complete this mission, we can bring the samples to Earth in the 2030s. And then we will be able to proudly say that we have found neighbors, but unfortunately, they are no longer alive. Evidence of life on another planet will force us to understand the meaning of our own existence. This will unite us as humans and force us to think. If life can thrive everywhere, it makes the universe a place full of living possibilities. We often hear that the health of our planet Earth is deteriorating day by day. Due to rising temperatures, glaciers are continuously melting. Our cities are getting covered under a blanket of smog caused by pollution. Due to rising water levels, cities are getting submerged, and in some places, it has stopped raining altogether, leading to droughts. That means these changes have come because of human actions. Due to these changes, we are seeing a decline in the Earth's health. In such a situation, it wouldn't be wrong to say that soon this planet will no longer be suitable for us to live on. There will be some terrifying changes here that will force us to look for shelter somewhere else in this infinite universe. And when it comes to a home after Earth, the first thought that comes to our mind is Mars, and why shouldn't it? According to our understanding so far, Mars is the biggest contender for this spot. In many ways, it is similar to our Earth. However, we can't ignore the fact that currently, the factors that support life on Mars are almost non-existent. But as they say, humans tend to be a bit too optimistic. It's the result of this human optimism that we've been relentlessly pursuing Mars for the past 50 years. Sometimes we land our landers here, sometimes our rovers, sometimes we observe it from the sky, and sometimes we get lost in its soil. To be honest, this human love for Mars is not in vain. It's worth it because Mars is the key to our destiny. Mars is the reality of our future. Therefore, on the way to reaching Mars and then settling there, many difficulties and troubles are waiting for us. So, would you like to face these challenges? Would you not want to embark on this journey to the future of Mars? Of course, that's why we, meaning Documentary Library, are going on this trip to Mars today. Together, we will all go to Mars. We will settle there, do farming, and live a happy life. So, shall we go? By the way, keep in mind, this trip is going to be one way only. So, travelers, please pack all your belongings carefully because there is no way back on this journey. Anyway, more than us, Bhai Sab here is in a hurry to go to Mars. Yes, this is Elon from SPACEX. Bhaiya is in his own world of dreams, where we are boarding our spacecraft and entering the atmosphere of Mars. Now, keep one thing in mind here. We are creating this simulation keeping in mind all the discoveries made up to today, and brother, if we miss anything, please forgive us. Anyway, after passing through the atmosphere of Mars, we have finally arrived now. On its surface, where for now nothing can be seen except desolation, it looks like a graveyard. There is nothing else worth seeing on this planet. Let's start the work from here now. First of all, we need to build some shelters here where we can stay, which can protect us from the icy winds and dust storms on Mars. Within the four walls of these shelters, the deadly radiation coming from the sun won't be able to reach us, and we will stay far away from all these dangers. These modern shelters will be made from the soil of Mars itself, and who will make them? Well, the answer is 3D printers. Yes, to do most of the work on Mars, we will have to rely on these machines and robots. According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration's plan, most of these machines will be sent there even before the Martian crew lands. As a result, all these tasks can be carried out immediately. During this time, these special types of machines will develop a unique kind of hybrid silicon from Martian soil, which will be used to build these shelters. By the way, the best thing here is that for now, most of the work on Mars will be carried out by our robots. These marvels, created by the powerful combination of machine learning and artificial intelligence, will prove to be very effective in establishing cities on Mars. They will be equipped with all those sensors that will help them work better, faster, and with greater precision. After that, in a very short time, we will have plenty of homes ready. Then, high-pressure zones will be created in these shelters. You already know that the atmosphere on Mars is thin, which means the air pressure there is very low. It's so low that humans can't survive in it. That's why we'll have to arrange for proper gas exchange and pressure maintenance inside these capsules. And ultimately, these things will have to be operated. It's essential for survival. A lot of solar panels will also be installed on Mars to generate electricity, which will convert sunlight into electricity and charge our machines. Inside these Martian shelters, astronauts can move around freely without any spacesuit or protective clothing, but as soon as they step outside, they'll need them. A special bodysuit that can continuously supply them with oxygen and also maintain the air pressure on their bodies. Now, if our Martians want to roam around on Mars, they'll need a vehicle. But after a few weeks, they'll have to get to work on a big mission. Actually, when they left Earth for Mars, they took a lot of food with them, which is now about to run out. After the long 8-month journey and landing on Mars, a lot of the food has already been used up, and the remaining food will only last for a few months. This is where the challenge of survival begins. Now, it's not like these Mars travelers are carrying out these big missions on Mars without any assistance. The truth is that National Aeronautics and Space Administration (SPACEX), or any agency hosting these missions, is fully dedicated to assisting these astronauts. The control center on the ground is constantly monitoring the actions of these astronauts. The crew present on Mars is also maintaining continuous contact. Everything from the robots' batteries to the cabin pressure is being monitored, and that too on a regular basis. Rockets loaded with machines and robots are also being sent there to build a human settlement. After landing on Mars, they are proving to be very effective in building up this infrastructure. Anyway, now it's time to focus on a very important mission. This mission is nothing else but farming on Mars. Well, this might sound a bit childish, but it's actually a reality of the future, and our scientists are about to make this reality come true. In fact, these Martians will be quite smart in their work. They will have complete knowledge from engineering to botany, and with the help of that knowledge, they are working to accomplish this mission. In this sequence, first of all, these greenhouses will be built here. Actually, these will be special types of vertical farms. In the video, we've explained the entire plan for farming in Martian shelters in a step-by-step manner. But for now, just understand that these initial Mars travelers have also learned to grow vegetables, or you could say food, on Mars by themselves, I'm sure. Now, a question must have popped up in your mind, and that is, where will the water for farming or even for humans to drink come from there? Water is necessary, right? Without it, it's impossible to even imagine life. So the straightforward answer to the question is the water synthesis process. Through this, they will infuse the hydrogen and oxygen gases stored in the fuel tanks with each other to make water. The idea of transporting water from Earth to Mars is great, but it's not feasible. On the other hand, melting the ice caps present on Mars to make water is quite tough, because it's pretty clear that we're not going to carry out these expeditions in the polar region. In such a situation, this is the only practical and sustainable option left for us. Now we have water, a roof over our heads, plenty of Martian food to eat, and overall, everything seems to be going pretty well. But is this enough to settle humans on Mars? To colonize Mars? Do we need something even bigger and more exciting than this there? If yes, then what? And if you want to know how we will do all that, then comment below. Soon, we will bring a grand documentary on that, where there will be an amazing detailed account of all these developments with a time frame. I'm really excited. Are you too? Then quickly comment below. And friends, if you like today's video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Also, if you are new to Documentary Library, then subscribe and enable the bell notification so that you can get videos on astronomy and space science. First of all, friends, we'll meet again with another new informative video. Until then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.